the hell? College football trying to change some rules here? What's going on?
Yeah, dude, and I think for the most part we're going to like this. Now, congratulations to Caleb Williams, formerly of Oklahoma, now with USC.
Guy.
Oh, yeah, he is the foot fetish guy.
Yeah.
I had no idea that Caleb Williams and Rex Ryan were going to have so much in common.
You know what? If Rex Ryan was still a head coach in the league, he would probably trade all of his draft picks, much like Mike Ditka did, to go get Ricky Williams. He would do that just to get Caleb Williams.
So we know Caleb Williams got the big, like, real estate, Los Angeles real estate NIL deal. He also got a deal with Fanatics. Mm-hmm. He got a deal with a men's grooming company and an alkaline water brand as well, plus a deal with now Beats by Dre. So just throwing that out there for you. Caleb Williams absolutely crushing balls. He did tweet out a year ago last summer after the NIL rule became a thing. He tweeted out, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman, which is the line by Jay-Z that was coined and people like to use it. So Caleb Williams is all about the business, all about the cheddar.
Caleb.
Yeah. But he's 100% right now.
Come up with something on your own, dude.
He is a business man now. So salute to him. We got some Jamie Foxx that I'm going to play for you here in just a minute, but here's the potential rule changes. The NCAA is considering making a couple, I would call them major changes to the rules. And what's our big complaint? Like you were out at the Red River game.
I cannot stand first downs, and every time a team gets a first down, the clock stops.
Okay, so that's a specific thing.
It's a rule.
But what is your general feeling? Like when you came back from the Red River game?
Yeah.
What your whole thing was like the pace of play, right?
Right. There's no pace of play.
There's
tons of stoppages.
So many stoppages.
Well, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that the clock's stopping every first down.
Correct. And so that's one of the potential. That's one of the things they have out on the line is that maybe making that switch where they would not be stopping the clock. Like that's one of the big things that college football does that the NFL does not.
Because it prolongs the games. I mean, that's why we have 4-hour Big 12 games every Saturday.
Yeah, that's one of the huge ones. Now, another rule that and we're totally on board with that. I think, Walchuk, you and I both, hey, if you want to stop stopping the clock after every first down, I think we'd all welcome that. Now, the other thing that they're looking at potentially doing is treating incomplete passes the same way that officials treat runs out of bounds, which is they stop the clock, but only until the ball is spotted and ready for play.
Okay.
So like in the NFL and right now in college football, any incomplete snap. Right, exactly. Any incomplete pass stops the clock until the next play officially starts. Well, they're considering making it to where, hey, it's an incomplete pass, we're going to stop the clock for basically it ends up being probably 10 to 15 seconds, and then they're going to start rolling it. And so those are two things that they're considering. Now, I definitely like the first down one.
Yeah.
I don't know that I like the incomplete pass one, especially when you consider this about college football. People forget it. There's not an end of half and end of game 2-minute warning that stops the clock. So then you start wondering, okay, then how can you almost go too far the other way. Now, if you want to make both these rule changes and then also implement a 2-minute warning
makes sense
at the end of the second quarter and the fourth quarter, then I think that could be fine. But if you're not going to implement the 2-minute warning at any point at the end of the halves, then I don't see how you would be smart in doing the incomplete pass rule where you only stop it for a few seconds and then you start it again. Totally on board with the first down.
I guess, right, like when you think about it, because you're talking about like on a drive at the end of the game, you're trying to stop the clock. But if they're implementing it to where it's the same thing as, when a runner goes out of bounds, I mean, then it's not really an issue, right? Because that's how teams are moving the football at the end of games anyway. The idea is let's just get out of bounds and we get back to the line of scrimmage. So you still get the clock stopped until you're back to the line of scrimmage, then you're snapping the ball again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I still don't think it's necessary.
I
still don't think it's necessary. I think that's just kind of being too... They're doing too much. They're trying to do too much. I think if you go ahead and just abolish Rule 1, as they're talking about, to help the flow, which is the first down deal, and it not stopping there, that's fine. But Yeah, I mean, I think that they are going a little bit too far with the incompletion thing.
Well, because then you can't even at the end of games like do a spike and really get to sit back and like try and figure out what you want to do. You have to spike it, and then like they're immediately going to set this ball up, and the clock's going to keep running.
Right.
So it takes kind of the spike out of the game. I think it just goes too far the other way, where it's like if you're down in a college football game and you're trying to come back, there's very little ways to be able to actually stop the clock.
I agree. I don't think it's necessary to do that.
So, but totally on board with them switching the stopping the clock after the first down, because that one's the big killer. That one's the big killer. So, anyways, The Athletic had an article about it, and so we'll see what happens. They're both those rule changes are under discussion by NCAA football, the rules committee. And they're actually meeting this week in Indianapolis as well. Talk about a massive week for sports and football in Indy this week with the combine going down. So we'll see. I think that would be a welcome rule change, but who knows what the NCAA is going to want to do there.